Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain. I can't hear you. Our all-time favorite kids show is filled with some of the most memorable moments, but underneath the depths lie some dark theories that'll make you question if this show is suitable for children. From cannibals to nuclear testing, Bikini Bottom is not what you think it is. I'm your host Andrew, and here are your top 10 SpongeBob scary urban legends. Coming at number 10 spot, we have Bikini Bottom is the result of nuclear testing. This one blew my mind. See what I did there? Now, the main reasoning behind a nuclear bomb is because some say that Bikini Bottom is located beneath Bikini Atoll, which has been a well-known location for nuclear bomb testing. And we all know how nukes are so evil, right, Mermaid Man? This would explain everyone's ability to communicate in a human fashion, their strange behavior, and a host of other wacky characteristics. This show has many depictions of nuclear mushroom clouds. I know we have all seen it. And apparently in one episode that features a town called Rock Bottom, it supposedly mimics a crater created on the ocean floor due to one of these nuclear bomb tests. That's not all. You remember that island they hopped on when they went above the water? That's supposedly Bikini Atoll. And the reason why it's empty is because the US government relocated the 146 residents of the island to conduct these nuclear tests. SpongeBob creators hid this from the public because why would anyone want their children watching a show about post-nuclear sea animals? Doesn't sound too pleasing. At our number 9 spot, we have SpongeBob Bootleg Tape. This is one of those cases of watching a video that is cursed, kind of what you see in the movie The Ring. Except this one is on the kids show SpongeBob. This image was taken from a split-second frame in a corrupted bootleg of the SpongeBob episode Dump. The story is about a tape that was found by a group of 5 teenagers who were rummaging through trash cans outside an abandoned mental hospital. Other than the image, the rest of the video is composed of incomprehensible jumbles of colors, static, or just black screens. The audio seems to be a heavily distorted version of the audio from the original episode, with loud droning buzzes occasionally interrupting it. Of these 5 individuals, 2 have taken their life, 1 has gone missing, and 1 refuses to comment on the tape. At our number 8 spot, we have the main characters represent the 7 deadly sins. The 7 deadly sins of Christianity are said to be represented by each of SpongeBob's main characters. According to some fans, Gary the Snail, a bottom feeder who never stops eating, represents the sin of gluttony. SpongeBob's obsession with acquiring a driver's license, or Pearl's obsession with boys, could be referred to as lust. Mr. Krabs, who once has sold SpongeBob's souls for 62 cents, is undoubtedly an example of greed. Patrick is the laziest person I know in the show, and he turned the sin sloth into a way of life. Given how much Squidward despises Patrick and SpongeBob, Wrath ought to be his middle name. Plankton shows envy the way he despises the success of Mr. Krabs and is always trying to steal the Krabby Patty formula. And of course, pride plays out in Sandy, who thinks she's hot stuff being from Texas and all. If they truly do represent all 7 deadly sins, I don't think this would be God's favorite TV show. At our number 7 spot, we have Krusty Krab's secret formula is Krabs. So this theory suggests that Mr. Krabs is a cannibal. Let's dig into the theory because it's kind of juicy. So if you really think about it, Mr. Krabs is the only crab in Bikini Bottom, but why? In a past episode, Mr. Krabs says this.
So that's what I taste like.
And if you take a good look at the Krusty Krab restaurant, doesn't it kind of look like a lobster trap? You know, crabs, lobsters, same thing kind of. So he makes a ton of money from selling crabs, so he definitely keeps it a secret so no one will truly know about the horrors of what he is doing. At our number 6 spot, we have Chum Buckets' dark secret. Since we just mentioned the Krusty Krab, I thought it was best to mention their not very good rival, the Chum Bucket. We all know that everyone in the Bikini Bottom completely hates the Chum Bucket. This is why every day Plankton gets up to steal the secret formula because it's just not working out for him. A theory proposed by Reddit user SpongeBobLover04 states that the Chum Bucket runs off of cannibalism. First of all, chum is the bait they use to catch sharks, which is usually made up of ground up fish. This would mean that Plankton secretly hunts down fish to ground them up and mix it into his burgers. The fish that would be going to eat at the Chum would be literally eating their own kind. So this definitely makes sense why they're feeling extremely sick after eating this. At the hump of our list, we have Plankton is damaging SpongeBob's brain. As the show went on, it seemed that every episode had SpongeBob doing something more absurd than the last. A Reddit theory proposed by That's a Yikes stated that Plankton's various incidents with SpongeBob caused him to damage his brain. First things first, Plankton was quite literally inside of SpongeBob's mind in the episode Plankton, allowing him the ability to mentally program SpongeBob, as well as showing a competent ability to manipulate the functions of the brain. In the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, Plankton is shown to have mastered mind control with his Chum Bucket helmets, most likely due to the success he had on SpongeBob. Time and time again, Plankton has altered SpongeBob's brain, so it's definitely malfunctioning.
Come on, baby, what's the name? We threw out his name!
kinda dark stuff, Plankton. At our number 4 spot, we have It's a Metaphor for World War II Germany. According to fan theory by Drake Grayson, the show represents pre-World War II Germany. Squidward, a failing artist and a complete jerk, acts like Adolf and wants to evict all of his neighbors. In the case for Adolf, it was the Jews, so SpongeBob kinda represents them in the eyes of Squidward. Patrick is pretty much oblivious the whole show, so it's said that he represents the ignorance and the blindness of the German people when the genocide was happening right in front of their eyes. Sandy represents America, always karate chopping her way out of conflict, just like how the US came in the war guns blazing. Finally, Mr. Crab represents the rest of Europe, treating Germany, aka the Bikini Bottom, along with Adolf or Squidward, poorly since Germany started the war in the first place. This one is nuts for me because I would have never thought you can put Adolf and SpongeBob in the same sentence ever, but I guess you can. All the way at our number 3 spot, we have SpongeBob represents global warming. One Redditor made the claim that SpongeBob is a metaphor for global warming. He claimed that all characters have their part in explaining the theory of global warming and its detrimental effects in the sea. For example, SpongeBob is quite literally a sponge and represents the waste and pollution that is made in the world. We all know that pollution causes greenhouse gases that warm the earth, eventually melting icebergs, floating earth, you know the vibes. So SpongeBob is the pollution, and he works for Mr. Krabs, who resembles large corporations responsible for the waste in the first place. Mr. Crab loves that SpongeBob works for him because he takes little to no pay with maximum efficiency, showing that these corporations only care about the money and not the environment. Patrick represents Western civilization because he is unhealthy, unintelligent, and quite literally lives underneath a rock, and only instigates SpongeBob, which is the pollution, to wreak more havoc in the Bikini Bottom. At a number 2 spot, we have every character suffers from substance addiction. The show was first pitched as an adult cartoon, so before all the child-friendly goofy scenes, there were a few mature topics that were left out of the show. One writer claimed that every character on the show is addicted to some sort of narcotics. SpongeBob is supposedly on speed or methamphetamine due to intense feelings of happiness, increased energy, and his intermittent paranoia that comes every now and again. This fan claims that Mr. Krabs is the dealer, and that's why SpongeBob is okay with making little to no money. Mr. Krabs is said to be addicted to cocaine because of his love for money, which satisfies his substance cravings. Squidward is said to be on opioids, which explains his relaxed nature and his urge to be left alone. Then we have Patrick, who is supposed to resemble the common marijuana user, but in my opinion, he seems drunk half the time, so maybe he does a bit of both. This theory is kinda dark, so I'm sorry to some of the kids who have to hear this one. Coming in at number 1 spot, we have SpongeBob is a nature documentary for humans. Okay, so a YouTuber by the name of Alex Vale coined this theory in the first place, so credits to him. He explains this in more depth, but here's a little summary. He said that SpongeBob is actually a nature documentary film by humans to investigate abnormally intelligent sea creatures that act like humans. In an old SpongeBob DVD, there's a bonus feature that shows human scientists studying and filming the creatures of Bikini Bottom because the fish are exactly acting like humans. There's even one episode where SpongeBob is taking a driver's test and he even runs over the human camera guy who's narrating as well.
Test for the year, and if SpongeBob does not pass this one, it means another whole year of boarding school! What happened?
We can clearly see his human legs, so this kind of confirms his point. You also remember the human hand that would appear on screen, especially in the opening song when he puts on SpongeBob's pants? Yeah, well, this is because SpongeBob is the main character of the documentary, meaning he has to take care and protect him. Then there's another episode that shows a human family watching SpongeBob and turning it off on the TV, further proving this theory. Well, there we have it, our top 10 SpongeBob scary urban legends. This is my favorite show, so I would love to see what you guys think about our list. Please leave a like and subscribe. I'm your host Andrew, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.